All right, thanks for being with us this morning. We've seen lots of school closings and delays this morning, mostly delays. We're up over 50 now, and the closings are mainly north.
North because of the snow there. And for the rest of us, this is a little bit different than that last one. If you look outside, most of you aren't going to see the ice on the trees and power lines. It was just the cold pavement, Brooke, that caused problems this time. So it's been raining in Appleton. Currently Fox Valley 34, but the back edge is getting close. See the temperature? It's above freezing, and it has been for hours, but it's been that pavement temperature that dropped to right around freezing last night. That's why you're seeing some icing on your sidewalks, your driveways. Dump down a bunch of salt. It's going to get better, or just wait, and it will quickly get better as we head through the morning. So there's the back edge already getting closer. You see snow to the north, rain to the south. Back edge moving through Waushara County right now. It's just about through Marquette. Here's a little bit of a look to the south, Green Lake, Fond du Lac, Sheboygan. Some light rain, patchy, falling. Even that coming to an end shortly. And then to the north, there's Green Bay. Same story. Light rain falling on some colder pavement. And that's why we're seeing some of those icy spots. But some patchy snow off to the north. That's a sign that it's starting to taper off. It was more solid before. Current temps, we got 34. Green Bay, that's the same as Kewaunee, Manitowoc. So most of our temperatures, the farther south you are, they're above freezing right now. It's been that cold pavement causing problems. Look at about an hour. Most of this is going to be moving on out of here. And by the noon hour, we should be fine. Maybe even a couple peaks of sun, and we'll be doing plenty of melting. But still winter weather advisories going this morning. They're going to end from the south because our precipitation already ending from there. So things do get better as we head through the morning. Watch this. For your noon temperature, close to 40 degrees. Our high 43 today. So Brooke, give it some time. We're going to be doing some melting, but I do have another round of some rain and some snow depending on where you live on the way for the weekend. We'll time it out. Look at it coming up.
Breaking news, a plane diverted from Minneapolis was forced to make an emergency landing in Green Bay this morning when it slid off the runway. That's where Max Grossfeld is right now. Max, what do you know?
Brooke, just after 3 this morning, United Flight 878 ran off the runway at Austin Straubel Airport, prompting a big emergency response. But it looks like, as of now, much of that response has subsided. However, for passengers, it's been a very long night. They tell us they originally took off from Houston to Minneapolis, but were diverted to Madison when they couldn't land. The flight took off from Madison just after 1:15 after refueling. After circling Minneapolis several times, the pilots had to come to Green Bay to try to land again. If you've been out on the roads this morning, you know how icy it is out here. Passengers said as soon as they hit the ground, they knew something was wrong.
Well, I could tell he was hitting the reverse, motors pretty hard, and it was not going to go well.
Now we don't know how we're getting home. Possibly a coach. I'm not going to be flying for a while.
Passengers were bused to the terminal where they have been waiting for their bags and trying to figure out their next move. Keeping you connected live at Austin Straubel Airport, Max Grossfeld, NBC 26.
All right, thank you, Max. Now, 3 people are dead after a small plane crashes in Indiana on its way to Green Bay. Paris Lubell from our Scripps affiliate is at the scene.
Right now, Indiana State Police saying there are no survivors in this plane crash. It happened right around 7:39, about an hour north of Indianapolis in Carroll County. Police say at 7:21 that plane took off from Eagle Creek Airport in Indianapolis and was heading towards Green Bay, Wisconsin. Right now, they say again there are no survivors. Now, our sources tell us they lost radar contact with it at 28,000 feet while it was flying over Carroll County, and that was the last time they saw it. They got numerous 911 calls after that, and then when officers got out here, they found a large debris field. They've called in a lot of resources to help, including some drones to start taking pictures. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board will be out here as soon as the sun comes up, starting that part of the investigation. In Carroll County, Indiana, I'm Paris Lubell.
All right, thanks, Paris. Now to Fond du Lac, where a man is arrested after a brief chase with police. It happened on the 300 block of 3rd Street just after 8 o'clock last night. Officers attempted to stop the 34-year-old man, but had to chase him down. Police say he fired a single shot during the chase. Officers had to arrest the man at gunpoint. He's being held on a probation violation. No one was injured during the incident. Testimony continues in the George Birch homicide trial with the victim's boyfriend back on the stand. Dietrich returned for cross-examination, and the defense continued trying to show Douglas Dietrich didn't have a high level of concern that Nicole Vanderheiden didn't return home the night she went missing. The defense asked Dietrich why it took him until the following afternoon to call somebody. He said he thought Vanderheiden must have been sleeping off a hangover.
I was kind of told not to. So, I mean, I was willing to get one.
And you made the choice not to.
I guess, yeah. Yes.
After Dietrich left the stand, much of the testimony centered on evidence collected at and outside Dietrich's home. A couple of neighbors told the court they found a black cord near the curb along with some blood. All right, let's get a closer look at the current road conditions right now for your morning commute. This is a live look at 511's winter road conditions map. You can see a lot of our major highways are listed as red, which means they are ice covered, or they are listed as pink, which means they are slippery stretches. Blue means snow covered, and green, which we're not seeing a lot of on this map, means good winter driving. And with another round of a wintry mix moving through, roads could turn slippery once again this morning. Meteorologist Gino Recchia is live in De Pere tracking road conditions. How's it looking out there, Gino?
Good morning, Brooke. Just outside Main Avenue in De Pere, and when I first got here, there was a little bit of some more ice on the roads, and right behind me on the sidewalk, I decided to take a look because that's an untreated surface. The ice is starting to melt. There's still a little bit of that thin glaze of that ice that occurred overnight this morning, but now with those temperatures, the car temperature, at least in my car, is showing 34 degrees, so that is showing that temperatures slowly warming up. Yes, it's a cold rain. Any of that ice that's still along the ground, and also ground temperatures, they're along that freezing mark from overnight, so there is still that possibility of some black ice. But behind me, cars are moving. There you go, there's a plow right there now starting to move along that circular cul-de-sac, but that's some good news for you heading out the door. Just be safe because we still have that potential of some black ice. Keeping you connected live in De Pere, meteorologist Gino Recchia. Send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Gino. President Donald Trump is doubling down on proposals to arm teachers after we learned new information about the Florida school shooting. Edward Lawrence has both sides.
Well, good morning, Brooke. President Trump this morning wants Congress to take action, specifically to harden our schools as targets for a killer.
I decided this morning.
The Broward County Sheriff confirms the armed school resource officer responded to the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, but never went inside.
So what should he have done? Went in, addressed the killer, killed the killer.
Scott Peterson, the sheriff's deputy assigned to the school, resigned as President Trump doubles down on arming teachers to harden schools as targets.
Unless we're going to have an offensive capability, it's going to happen again and again and again.
The president also pledging action, talking about tougher background checks, mental health screening, a ban on bump stocks, and raising the age of buying a gun from 18 to 21. The NRA only agreeing more guns need to be in schools.
To implement the very best strategy to harden their schools.
The NRA blaming the latest school shooting on failures at the FBI to act on tips about the gunman.
It is not our job to follow up on red flags.
Melissa Falkowski hid 19 students from the Parkland gunman in her classroom and says more guns are not the answer.
We should never be asked, to act as police officers or to act as trained military personnel.
This gun safety debate raged for decades. Now President Trump pledges action. A handful of states already have laws on the books allowing teachers to carry guns at schools if they get special training. In Washington, Edward Lawrence, NBC 26.
All right, the back edge of our precipitation outside quickly approaching and already moving through some of our counties. Here's kind of a closer look. That's Waushara County. It's almost completely through. Marquette County, it's out of there. Green Lake, you're just about done. The rest of us, the back edge approaching, now moving into Wapaka, western Shawano County. Here's a look along 23 and up 41, 43. This is rain, but the problem is some of that pavement is still at or a little bit below freezing. That's why we're seeing a little bit of icing. Salt's going to help, or just give it a little bit of time. We're going to melt that off quickly. And then as you head towards Green Bay, same story. This is going to taper off over the next hour and off to the north. Same story, except this is snow. But you see it getting more patchy, so things improving. And these temperatures are going to go up and up from here. 34 currently in Appleton, Green Bay, 35 in Oshkosh. So already doing some melting to the south. To the north, you eventually will start to do some melting. Watch this in about an hour. There goes most of that precipitation. By mid-morning, it's out of here. But still, because of what's going on right now, winter weather advisory still in effect for most of us, except for Fond du Lac and Sheboygan, where things have improved dramatically with the temperature there. So 43 degrees today. So as we head through the morning, we're going to be doing some melting. But I have another round of some rain, some snow, and a wintry mix on the way for the weekend. We'll time out when it gets here coming up.
Thanks for being with us this morning. New video of flooding that's forcing evacuations this morning. People in Rockwall, Texas, just outside of Dallas, are under voluntary evacuations this morning. Several homes are flooded, but nobody's hurt. In southwestern Michigan, the Coast Guard says it's going door to door rescuing people and their pets. Flooding in Mississippi is forecast to last through Saturday night. Now, many people in the Midwest have been hoping the popular ice caves of Lake Superior will be open for the first time in 4 years. Park rangers are saying don't get too excited. The ice caves, which require a 2-mile round-trip hike, need more cold temperatures to become accessible by foot. They need a certain type of ice, and a recent assessment showed that instead of the clear hard ice needed, there's a lot of what's called pack ice, which can't be counted on to stay in place.
We've seen almost 2 foot of pack ice in previous years get blown out in less than 2 hours.
All right, rangers say poor quality ice is dangerous to walk across, and a wrong assessment could lead to deaths. So at this point, rangers say it's unlikely the ice caves will be open in 2018.
Science.
Bummer for people who like seeing those. They're very cool.
And who would have thought it's the type of ice? I mean, most of it, those ice experts are like, oh yeah, you don't want the pack ice.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
We're dealing with our own ice in spots, Brooke, because of what has fallen onto cold pavement.
Yeah.
This is different than the last one, where the last one, of course, a lot of us had it on the trees and power lines. Not as much this time with this system rolling on through. Now, this is just one round. Look what's on the way for the weekend. Another one of these. We'll get to that in a little bit, but this is a look outside currently in Green Bay, 34 degrees. So our temperatures are above freezing with the light rain falling, but it's falling on some colder pavement in spots, and that's why it's been freezing tight. Maybe that's your sidewalk, driveway. Give it some time or throw down some salt. Either one. Either way today, we're going to be warming things up. Look at the back edge already working its way into the area. It's already cleared a couple of our counties like Waushara. It's pretty much out of there. Marquette out of there as well. Green Lake, it's just about done. Fond du Lac, it's tapering off by you. So quickly this is going to move out. And anything to the south has been falling is just rain. But again, with some of the colder pavement temps, that's why we've been seeing some ice on some of the sidewalks, driveways. Moving to the north, same story in Green Bay. Starting to see things tapering off slowly. Over the next hour, this should pretty much be out of here. And the steadier snow to the north, even that tapering off right now. Speaking of right now, we got the temperatures mostly above freezing the farther south you are. There's Oshkosh at 35, 34 Manitowoc. Same with Appleton right now, 32 in Watoma, but Watoma you don't even have to worry anymore because the precip's out of there. So here's a look at Skycast over the next hour. They're going to get rid of that snow to the north or the rain to the south. And then as we head towards the noon hour, notice completely quiet around here, and we're going to quickly do some melting, but still we have winter weather advisories in effect for most of the area. But Fond du Lac, Sheboygan to quickly improve, so you're out of this. But even the rest of us, it's going to improve over the next hour or so, and the temps are coming up. Now, as you go outside, wind chills, not that big of an issue because it's not that cold. Feels like 28, Appleton and Green Bay. So there goes that precip here early this morning, and then most of your day going to be all right. As we go into the afternoon hours, also dry into the evening. We're going to have a quiet night. Now, tomorrow, during the daytime hours, we're going to be fine. But notice what happens. Clouds working their way on in. It's mainly tomorrow night. Here we go again. A round of rain for a lot of us the farther south you are, and snow off to the north and west. Current indications showing by the end of this, as we go into Sunday morning, a dusting to maybe an inch. Farther south you are, there we are, 1 to 3 inches to the north, and way off to the north and west, 3 to 5. And way out to the west, see those winter storm watches? That's where the heaviest snow will be. As far as us, still dealing with a little wintry precip this morning, that going to end. Then breezy and mild, plenty of melting today, 43 degrees. For tonight, going to keep it quiet, 21 degrees. And then for tomorrow, the daytime, fine. It's the nighttime, things are going to go downhill. Rain for a lot of us from Green Bay and south. To the north, a wintry mix and snow. And then for Sunday, it's going to be a windy day, but still doing some melting out there, 41. So plenty of 40s. And Brooke, if you just give it time today, the ice that's on the ground right now, that's going to be melting quickly this morning.
All right, thanks, Fish. Still to come in sports, state wrestling action and scores. Who will go on in the big tournament? You're watching NBC 26 today.
And now, NBC 26 Sports with Sports Director Charlie Sakaitis.
Good morning, sports fans. Bust out your singlet. We're hitting the mat. State wrestling getting underway yesterday down in Madison. The individual tournament, 2 rounds contested in the opening afternoon of competition. This will be a 3-day event, so we'll touch back in as we get closer to the biggest matches. This one you see on the screen now was a victory for Freedom's Colby McHugh. He edged Dominic Wichlax 1-0. With only 2 games left in the regular season for the UWGB women's basketball team, the reality that seniors Jessica Lindstrom and Allie LeClaire are nearly done is starting to sink in. The Phoenix have already claimed their 20th straight regular season conference title and will be the #1 seed in the Motor City Madness tournament. The impact of both their seniors is unmatched. Allie LeClaire was in the gym so late some nights that Coach Borseth had to create the LeClaire rule, setting a curfew on extra practice hours. Jessica Lindstrom broke both the school's double-double record and rebounding record this year, prompting Borseth to name one of his workouts the Lindstrom drill. After Sunday's senior day game at the Crest, the Phoenix will be playoff bound, and after that, the sky is the limit for these 2 young talents.
One of the WNBA coaches I talked with the other day, and I just said we've got, without getting too in detail, I just said we got a couple of kids I think you might want to look at. I don't know what you need at your level, but I exclaimed Allison's characteristics, and I went to Jessica's, and I told him the same thing, and I said, you might think I'm exaggerating. But
we are roommates and everything, and we've been together since our freshman year, and so many memories with her. And I really like that I get to go through this with her because, like I said, it's very bittersweet.
You know, I've been here since the last 8 years playing basketball, obviously, for high school and now here, and I think that just the relationships you build with your teammates and the coaches, it's definitely bittersweet, and it's just been a hell of a ride.
The 24-3 Phoenix tip-off Friday at 7 against Oakland, and then again on Sunday against Mercy for Senior Day. The Green Bay men picked up a victory yesterday on the road, 96-90 over Oakland. Sandy Cohen III going nuts in this game, 36 points, 11 rebounds. Khalil Small chipped in with 20 and 8. The Phoenix will finish up their regular season at Detroit Mercy on Saturday. And finally this morning, the Badgers at Northwestern. This one from last night, this one close in the final minutes. Wisconsin up 2, 3 minutes to play, and that's when Ethan Happ sticks his paw in there, gets the steal and the dunk. You know, it must be nice to be tall. 4-point lead. That dwindles to 1 with 30 seconds to play. But how about this kid? Brevin Pritzel turning into kid clutch late in this season. Wisconsin on to win 70-64. The Badgers will finish the year hosting second-ranked Michigan State on Sunday. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the sports. Keeping you connected, I'm Charlie Sakaitis for NBC 26.
All right, thanks, Charlie. We have a messy morning commute this morning, lots of school closings. We turn to NBC 26's Michael Fish live outside on our weather deck with more for us. Fish?
And Brooke, the farther north you are, the more snow you saw, and that's where most of the closings are. A lot of us with the delay because, well, this rain that was falling on cold pavement. I'm looking at it around me. It's starting to melt already with our temperatures warming, but you see the farther south you are, the more this is falling as rain. Look at the back edge quickly moving in. So the bulk of this is pretty much done. Here's a look at precip going along 23. You see that back edge? It's already moved through Green Lake County and now moving through Fond du Lac as well. And to the north, patchy light snow, even that's tapering off. The rest of us, a little bit farther south, this is rain, and even that is getting better right now. So your current temperatures as you head out the door, notice the melting already going on. Green Bay, as far as Kewanee, the same, 34 and 34 in Appleton. Brooke, things going to rapidly improve as we go through the morning. It's just the cold pavement from Green Bay and south that caused the problems. We'll have one more look at the forecast coming up.
All right, thanks, Fish. All right, we'll take another break, but before that, let's take a live look outside on our Green Bay tower cam. Some wet pavement outside there, maybe some hidden slick spots. Stay safe out on the roads this morning. You're watching NBC 26 today. Stay with us.
Good morning from Pyeongchang. Coming up, teachers and staff returning to the scene of the Florida school shooting for the first time today. We will be there, and we'll also have the latest on the resignation of the school's armed security officer after officials revealed he didn't enter the building. Also ahead, we have a lot to get to here at the Olympics. The U.S. figure skating team is going to stop by after last night's free skate. Plus, we are revealing the U.S. flag bearer for the closing ceremony, and we'll talk to that athlete live. And on our last morning here, we're going to look back at all the fun we've had in Pyeongchang when we see you a little later right here on Today.
Back edge of this precipitation quickly moving in. And then we're going to do some melting today. 43 degrees. And then Saturday night, more rain moves on in, snow to the north and west. And if you haven't heard, this is a look at Austin Straubel Airport. An airplane has slid off the runway. Of course, Brooke will be continuing to cover
that
this
of course.
morning.
Stay with us and we'll cover that throughout the day.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching NBC 26 Today. The Today Show's up next. We'll see you right back here Monday morning. Have a great weekend, everybody.